Okay,
Yeah.
when you talk about global warming, it's definitely not a good thing. There's definitely man-made is causing a change in global temperatures. We're definitely, and pollution's not a good thing. If we can figure out better ways of do things, yes, let's do that. But when you look at what the temperature swings that humans have survived through and these giant violent changes, the idea that we're having enough of an impact that it's going to kill us really quickly is laughable. And all of the solutions are taxes. That's the solution, right? Taxes. Take more money from people and siphon it to a government body that misuses money all the time. How is that a solution to the problem?
I don't even think that's the solution. I think it's investing in green energy and stopping this. Oh, oil's going to be fine and okay and dandy as we frack the earth and things start falling into pieces and the earthquakes start happening that never happened in places before.
Oh, I mean, there's definitely needs to be, we need to be smart about how we use our resources. I think you're right. We need to develop green technologies like awesome, super huge batteries, fusion power, push it. But I think we should utilize the energy that we have to build those technologies as quickly as possible to get off this planet and figure out crazier shit. Like, I think the idea of preserving this one little ecosystem and that's going to sustain us forever is fucking ridiculous. I think we should figure out how to fucking sustain ourselves throughout any time and space. Be able to live in the worst conditions ever because we have fucking crazy technology.
Right.
And I don't think, I just think we're talking about global warming in the totally wrong way.
Well, I want to say that I think there is a danger, though. You see the planet Venus and how its atmosphere got too clouded, if you will, for lack of a better word. And then it was like a positive feedback loop. It kept emitting more of these chemicals into the air that created the greenhouse effect,
Right.
and that made it warmer. And it just kind of accelerated from there, like a positive feedback loop, like when you have two microphones next to each other and it just keeps going back and forth and feeds off each other and gets louder and you have to pull the plug.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a real thing that we have to look out for. And the problem with the recent data isn't that it's going up, it's the rate at which it ticks up. It used to be kind of more of a line, but now it's parabolic? It's like a parabola is what I'm trying to say. There's a word.
Parabolic?
That's it. I'm not even that drunk yet. But
We're just talking about things that...
it's the way it goes up exponentially. And it's just like, whoa, that seems really bad. And it kind of coincides with the globalization that's happening now, because for a while there, it was just kind of us and maybe parts of Europe, and China was catching up. And now that China and India are huge, and good God, you saw China, how bad it was over there.
So if you really believe that, like if you think that this thing's going to happen, then I would wonder why are we not going to war with China and India to get them to stop doing what they're doing? If this is that big of a thing, because our solution right now is taxing Americans so it costs them more to live,
Mm-hmm.
to subsidize building green technology than the rest of the world's going to utilize, which would be good if everyone would actually do it. But if it costs more money, other countries that are just developing are not going to fucking do it.
That's
Like
true.
more advanced countries that can afford to do that will do it because they see the big picture. But advancing countries, they're just trying to feed their people and give them a job. Good luck.
That's a good point. Like, we don't want to push other countries' buttons, but maybe that's...
But like, what are you willing to do? That's what I like. If people are like, oh, it's gonna end. Like, we need to fix this. Or like, it's something like that. Like Venus, that's gonna happen here. Don't we have to put down our foot and say, let's really change this?
I think it kind of goes back to your kind of free market look at it. Right now, we're trying to incentivize using green technology, or at least there's a push for that, by taxing some things and investing in other things. I think the free market...
Invest in corn.
What we need to do is pour a lot of money into it so that we have the latest, greatest technology, and then China will have to see it and be like, well, it's cheaper and better. It has to be cheaper and better, I guess, is the thing. But I feel like we're smart enough to figure out a cheaper and better way to support our energy needs.
I think we're starting to do it. I mean, you mentioned fracking and brought up all the negative aspects of it. And I think there are a tremendous number of negative aspects of it because we've been doing it in a really in irresponsible manners.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's probably ways to do what we're trying to do, but we haven't learned how to do it effectively. And it's not because a lot of the examples when they talk about where these the water tables are being destroyed and where these chemicals are getting into the ground, that's because of these loopholes that they've created. Like, it's not regulated. It doesn't have to follow the Clean Water Act.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to announce what chemicals they're using. A lot of the wells do not meet the standards which are supposed to be met. And but if we did it smart, like sometimes I think there's the idea where it's totally wrong, and there's the idea where it's like, oh, just keep drill, baby, drill. Fucking drill this bitch until it's fucking dry. Oh, put your big oily titties in my mouth.
Oily titties. My favorite kind.
The oily kind.
I want to say something on that.
Liven up, you little bitch.
Obama.
We're so dry right now.
That's okay. We're still in the Hiccup pregame mode. Obama
Lick my
was
ass.
kind of like this beacon of hope and change for the left. And as an environmental guy, I was like, yay, we're going to have solar power by 2016. Everywhere or whatever. Like, that's kind of like the delusion people like me had. But now that I see like a kind of slow, calculated approach to kind of wean us off of oil, like you can't just be like, all right, all the oil companies shut down and we're going to go solar in one day. It's kind of like we have to slowly get off the oil nipple. And I think we've shifted that to at least American production with fracking. So I think there's a good thing politically with what we're doing with that strategy. I just wish we developed other technologies that would replace it faster.
Oh, fracking, I mean, it's terrifying what they're doing in certain areas. I mean, I'm really good, like that guy came out with that documentary.
Gasland 1 and 2.
I didn't watch the second one. The first one, good enough, I felt like.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, this needs to be watched way more carefully. And I was never like, fracking sounds great. I always like, it seems a little...
What are we doing?
But like you said, the positives aspects of getting away from the Middle East, so we're not just giving them tons of fucking money.
So it's kind of like, okay, I calm down. I'm just like, okay, I see that we have to politically take slower steps and change takes a long time. But I don't want, with the Keystone XL thing, I don't want to, like, let's just go with the premise that we're addicted to oil. Like, when you're addicted to something, like if you have an alcoholic, you don't keep giving them beer. You start cutting them off. Like, here, switch to beer instead of going to liquor. I feel like we're getting switched to fracking instead of going to Middle Eastern oil. I'm like, no, we're still addicted to something that's like going to destroy us.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.